I made a huge mistake and I'm still paying the price for it. Over the past couple days, a lot of people were liquidated in their crypto trades and a lot of people have given up on crypto. I gave up on crypto too, but not this time. I'm not going to let it happen to me again. In 2018, I had just gotten into crypto and all of this same stuff was happening. There was a whole lot of people saying bad things, a lot of negative news, different things going on, and I listened to the wrong people and I gave up. So I wanted to go over the story of how I gave up on crypto and when I realized my mistake and how I'm never going to do that again. I may be looking down at my notes from time to time because I'm trying to remember different things over the timeline, but this is my story, and hopefully it'll help you not give up like a lot of other people have. So I learned about crypto, specifically Bitcoin, in 2017. I was at a Porsche training class for the dealership that I was going to, and one of my friends, Nigel, was telling me about Bitcoin. We were talking about stocks, and I was talking about how I wished I had bought Tesla or learned about investing before, and he had mentioned that he wished that he had bought Bitcoin before. And I don't remember at the time, this was July 2017, so Bitcoin was probably around $4,000 if I remember right. And he said that he remembered when it was around $1,000 and he thought about buying into it, but he never did. Now I was confused because I had never heard of Bitcoin before. I thought it was some computer thing because of the name bit in Bitcoin. And so I asked him what it was, and he said that people used it to buy drugs on the dark web. So my first thought was, if you buy that, isn't the FBI going to come to your door and try to find you, like hunt you down because you're buying drugs with this crazy internet money? And he said that it was safe and everything, but I was skeptical and I didn't know anything about it. But we kind of kept track of it a little bit. None of us bought any, but we kept track of it while we were going through this course that was about 6 months. Well, the course ended in the middle of December of 2017, and that was when Bitcoin was going crazy. So we were all talking about it and wondering what was going on, and we started buying into it a little bit. I bought a few $100s worth and started getting into some of the other crypto coins as well, and thinking that like DZ had mentioned on the BitBoy crypto channel, I bought into XRP because it was listed on Uphold and it was way cheaper than Bitcoin. And I thought, there's no way that I can make a lot of money with Bitcoin, but maybe with this XRP I can make some money. So like I said, I started out with Uphold. I heard about something called Helium on Uphold, which was an automated currency exchange trading bot, and it would take you would sign up for it, and then it would take your money and it would look for discrepancies between different currencies and which ones were going up and down, and it would make automatic trades going back and forth between Bitcoin, Ethereum, the European Euro, and different currencies and cryptocurrencies just to try to make money off of that. Well, in 2018, when everything started going down, that Helium trading bot couldn't figure out how to keep up with everything that was going down. So I basically just watched all of my money disappear. And something else also came out that Uphold was in some ways affiliated with. They let you connect your account to it, and it was called Cred. And Cred was basically the first time I had ever heard of earning interest on your crypto. So you would connect your account and leave it there, and it was like staking, but you were earning interest, kind of like what Voyager and Celsius were offering. And you would earn little bits of interest over time. Well, also this company, Cred, went bankrupt. And I should have known, I should have learned my lesson the first time, but this would have kind of taught me a lesson about Voyager, Celsius, all those other companies that were offering interest in 2021. But let's go back to the main part of the story. And in 2018, when all this stuff was going, I lost all my money, which luckily I only put in a few $100s because I put in just my spare change, stuff that I could afford to lose. and I watched it all go down and disappear. And so I thought Bitcoin was a fad. I thought it was like the Beanie Baby phase or the dot-com bubble, things like that, because I had never heard of it before. I didn't know the history of it. And so I just watched all my money disappear and thought, oh, whatever. That was cool while it lasted. That sucks that it just crashed, And I didn't take any more time to look into it or do anything like that. I just gave up on it, just left. And I remember hearing the story of, I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, but I think his name is Didi Taihutu, and he sold everything and bought Bitcoin. I think he sold his house, his cars, everything. He lived in Europe somewhere. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy's crazy, to buy all this Bitcoin when, the fad is over now. And if you look at his YouTube channel now, he is doing pretty good. So I wish I would have learned from him a long time ago when I heard about it instead of just, putting it off. Another thing that I thought was kind of funny too is in 2019, I believe, I was walking through our local mall and I saw that they had just installed a Bitcoin ATM. And I remember laughing and telling my wife, what a bunch of idiots. They installed this thing that's totally dead. And turns out I was the idiot. So that's a funny story too when I think back on it. And going through all these different things, I didn't realize until probably the end of 2020, in the fall of 2020, I started putting a lot of money into stocks because of everything that had gone on with the economy, and it looked like the stock market was picking back up. So I started taking 10% of every paycheck and putting it into different dividend stocks. And my account was slowly going up. Well, then in the end of 2020, I think it was December of 2020, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. And I felt like it came out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, man, I thought this thing was dead, like, is this just a fad that's coming back? Everybody's looking into it for a little bit and putting money into it. Or are they just pumping it up again? I didn't know anything about it. And so I started to wonder, was I wrong? Did I miss something? Did I not look into something right? Is there something going with this Bitcoin thing? And I started looking into it a little bit more, and shortly after that, I don't remember when the time was exactly because the video's no longer there, but Graham Stephan interviewed Ben Armstrong from BitBoy Crypto on his Iced Coffee Hour podcast. And that podcast, that episode made a huge difference in my thoughts on crypto because of one thing that Ben always talks about, and I think it gets overlooked. He said, it's simple. Bitcoin goes in a 4-year cycle. And that hit me like a slap in the face. He said, you have to watch the 4-year cycles because of the mining and the way that Bitcoin's designed everything. It'll have a cycle peak and then it'll crash for about a year and then it'll stabilize and start to go back up again, all depending on the Bitcoin halving in the 4-year cycle. I started looking into that and I realized how wrong I was. I realized that the crash that I saw, that I, experienced, was a normal part of the cycles up to that point. And going forward, that meant that it was supposed to do crazy stuff again later in 2021. Well, I felt like I was pretty much late to the party, but I still tried to get in. And so I started doing half crypto and half stocks. I put money in crypto and different things. And I started trying to make a little bit of money, but I figured I was pretty late to the party. Well, then all the stuff came about Ripple. Ripple was considered a security, and Coinbase took it off the exchange. Everybody else took it off the exchange. Nobody was able to buy it, except for on Uphold. And I thought maybe it was a glitch because I had my Uphold account from before. And so I started buying all of this XRP. And as time went on, later in, I think it was May, Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla was accepting Bitcoin, and you could buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, and that caused the price to go up crazy high. And then after that, it started crashing, and I had done a bunch of research, and I thought, according to my research in these 4-year Bitcoin cycles, it can't be over yet. It's not time for it to be over yet. And so when everything crashed in June and July, I stopped putting money into stocks and started putting all the money I could into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And over the time that I put all that money in stocks, during the bull run in the stock market, I think I made probably $1,500, and that was off of like $2,000 that I had put in there, and that was just little by little from my paychecks. In the 2 months that I put all the money into Bitcoin and Ethereum in July and August, I think I put around $2,000 in there. In September, that doubled. And that was proof enough to show me that crypto could give you way more explosive gains than the stock market. So at the end of that, when everything had gone, I think I waited until November, and I thought, this is actually pretty high. Everything's pretty high, and it'll probably go until January or December or January. So I sold all of my stocks, I sold all of my Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I put everything into XRP because I was expecting the Ripple case to end. And I had made, I think I made $1,500 from all the time that I put money into the stocks. But in 2 months, I made more money in Bitcoin and Ethereum alone than all the money that I put into my stocks. And so I was able to accumulate probably like $10,000 and put it all into XRP. And that's a lot of money for me in my current situation. And I put all that money into XRP, and I thought to myself, if this doesn't play out, then when the case finally does end, because there was a whole bunch of news saying that Ripple was doing well against the SEC, that Ripple was going to win the case. And I thought, if this ends well, then this will be the only chance I really have because I was so late to the game. If it doesn't end well, then I'm going to hang on to it until the next bull run in 2025, and I'll cash it all out because I'll pretty much I feel like I'll guarantee myself that I'll get a better return than if I would have done something another way because I had missed out. So that was my story of me giving up on crypto, how I lost everything in 2018. And I feel like we're at a similar point right now. There's videos I've seen going around of people saying how much this last crash, kind of the people that were still here, people are kind of wondering and questioning themselves. So this is what happened to everybody else in 2018, 2019. I believed it. I listened to all the negative news that was going out, everything that was going on, and I gave up on crypto too. And if you're thinking about giving up on crypto right now, you're going to feel the same regret that I felt in 2020 when everything came back. You're going to think, did I miss something? Did I forget to check something? Like, is there more going on with this crypto than I was thinking? And so I wanted to make this video so that you don't give up now. Now is still a good time. I mean, all of the altcoins are almost back at all-time lows. And you could make, on a lot of them, it's possible that they will go back up 10x because they're down 90%. If they go back to their previous all-time highs, then it's very possible that there could be a 10x. Now, this is not financial advice, and I can't guarantee what's going to happen. It's possible that the market could crash, different things could happen, but with all of the big institutions getting in and all these different things, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like maybe this crash happened. There was very little volume in trading. There was not a lot going on in crypto. There was a lot of good news that had come out before with the Ripple case. them winning against the SEC with the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs coming out, the news about that, all these different things had pushed the price up a bit, but then everything kind of stopped. It hit 30,000 and kind of stayed around there. And I've been getting more into crypto trading, so I've been watching the charts, and the volume has been very low. There's been very little money that's been flowing in and out of Bitcoin especially. And when you see those candlesticks look like flat dashes, that's not a good sign. And so then all this news came out of, Coinbase possibly shorting the market, and then Elon Musk, supposedly SpaceX had sold a bunch of Bitcoin. All of that news is the only thing it takes for everybody to get scared and start selling off really quick. And then when everybody starts selling off really quick, that causes the price to crash, that causes other people to get liquidated, and that crashes it even more. It's almost like the opposite of a short squeeze. And so all of these things happened, the price crashed, and that scared everybody else out even more. Well, the institutions, the hedge funds, Wall Street, they've been controlling our money for a very long time, and they know how the market psychology works. They know how the markets work. They know how to drive the markets, and they're not scared. They know how to scare us out, and so they'll take these opportunities to pile in and then sell us the crypto back again when the times are euphoric, when the prices are really high. And so they're the ones that are making the big buys right now behind the scenes. They're the ones that are giving us the bad news to scare us out of everything so that they can buy everything up at a low price and sell it back to us in 2 years when everything's really high. So don't let this scare you out. I just wanted to share my story because hopefully my story will help somebody else not to make the same mistakes that I did. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.